We've all had those days. You wake up and look around the kitchen or notice the dust settling on the shelves, and your body just says, not today. And that's okay. That feeling doesn't make you lazy. It doesn't make you behind. It makes you human. My name is Margaret, and I spent 30 years as a nurse before my knees decided they'd had enough of standing shifts. For a long time, I thought a clean home was something I had to earn by suffering through it. Then I realized I was fighting my own body, and my body was winning every single time. So I stopped fighting. Today, we're going to flip the script. We aren't going to battle our fatigue. We are going to work with it, around it, and honestly, in spite of it. I'm going to show you how to genuinely refresh your home without ever needing to stand up. Not sort of clean it. Not pretend it's clean. Actually clean it in a way that makes you feel settled, peaceful, and proud. Tool setup: the stationary station. The secret to all of this is very simple. We're going to bring the world to you. My friend Dorothy, she's 74, lives alone in a beautiful little townhouse outside of Columbus. She told me something that changed how I think about housework entirely. She said, the moment I stopped walking back and forth to the sink 10 times, I stopped dreading cleaning altogether. Dorothy doesn't use a fancy system. She uses a small wicker basket on the chair beside her. That's it. Inside that basket, she keeps a long-handled grabber tool, an extendable microfiber duster, a small spray bottle of mild all-purpose cleaner, and a generous stack of cloths. Everything she needs is within arm's reach. No commuting to the kitchen for a rag, no trekking to the cupboard for a spray bottle. If you have a lightweight rolling cart, even better. You can wheel it from room to room without carrying a single thing. But if you don't, a basket on a spare chair is all you need to get started. The idea is this: every time you have to get up to retrieve a tool, you spend energy that could go toward actually cleaning. We are protecting that energy like it's precious, because it is. The kitchen, the perch and wipe method. Now let's talk about the kitchen, often the room that feels the most impossible on a tired day. There is this idea that you have to stand in the kitchen to be productive in it. I want you to release that idea completely. My neighbor Carol is 68 years old and recovering from a hip replacement. For weeks after her surgery, she was convinced her kitchen was going to spiral into chaos. Instead, she pulled her tall stool up to the counter, set her basket on the counter beside her, and started working through the clutter hotspots, one small section at a time. The mail pile, the fruit bowl that had become a miscellaneous item bowl, the row of bottles and jars near the stovetop that always seemed to multiply. She told me afterward that she got more done in 45 seated minutes than she usually did in a full standing hour, simply because she wasn't exhausted halfway through. Here is how you apply the perch and wipe method in your own kitchen. Pull a stool up to your counter, one that fits under the edge comfortably. Spray a cloth and wipe down the surface directly in front of you and within easy arm's reach. Use your grabber tool for anything pushed toward the back of the counter. No leaning, no straining, no twisting your back to reach something 2 feet away. Sort small items into categories right there on the counter. Things that belong in a drawer, things that go in the bin, things that belong in another room entirely. You don't have to put them away immediately. You are doing the thinking now and the moving later. Or not at all today, if that's where your energy is. The goal in the kitchen is to clear the visual clutter first. A clean counter does more for your mood than a scrubbed floor that nobody sees. The living room. High dusting and floor spills. The living room is where most of us spend the most time, and where the evidence of a tired week tends to pile up most visibly. Cushions slightly out of place, a thin layer of dust on the shelves, a receipt or a crumb on the floor that you've walked past 6 times and told yourself you'd get to. Let's address the dust first, because this is where your extendable duster becomes genuinely life-changing. I know a woman named Ruth. She's 81, sharp as a tack, and lives in a ground floor flat she's kept immaculate for 50 years. When her arthritis became severe enough that reaching above her head caused real pain, she nearly hired a cleaner just for the high shelves. Then her granddaughter gave her an extendable microfiber duster as a birthday gift. Ruth told me, "I sat in my armchair, extended that thing out like a fishing rod, and dusted my entire bookshelf without moving an inch." I laughed out loud. All those years I was making it so much harder than it needed to be. That villainous top shelf, the one we always mention, the one that collects dust between the photo frames and the books you keep meaning to read, your extendable duster handles it completely from a seated position. Move it slowly and deliberately. Let the microfiber do the work. Now for the floor. This is the part that trips most people up because bending down feels risky and tiring even on a good day.
Here is the solution. Take a damp microfiber cloth and wrap it around the end of your grabber tool. Most grabbers have a flat or slightly curved end that holds a cloth beautifully. Press the cloth down onto the spill, the crumb, the dust bunny, and lift. It works for dry debris and light spills alike. You never have to lower yourself to the floor. You never have to worry about getting back up. And the room, from where you're sitting, begins to look and feel genuinely cared for. The bedroom. Small resets with big impact. The bedroom often gets overlooked when we're low on energy because it's private, because guests don't see it, because we tell ourselves it doesn't really matter. But it does matter. To you. The room where you sleep is the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing you see at night. A cluttered bedroom is a cluttered mind, even when you're resting. My Aunt Vivian is 76 and lives with fibromyalgia. For years, making the bed was the task that felt most out of reach on her worst days. She couldn't stand long enough to walk around it, smooth it out, and tuck in the corners. So she stopped trying to do it that way. Now she sits on the edge of the bed, smooths the duvet from where she's seated, pulls the pillow cover straight, and fluffs each pillow before placing it. She doesn't walk around the bed. She turns herself, section by section, until it's done. It takes her 4 minutes. She says it makes her feel like herself again. Beyond the bed, keep a small tray or dish on your nightstand for the items that tend to wander. Receipts, lip balm, a charger, your reading glasses. From your seated position, or even lying propped up, you can gather these items and place them on the tray. That single act of corralling the small things can make the whole room feel reset. A peaceful home does not require a marathon. It does not require suffering. It does not require you to push through pain and then collapse afterward and feel worse than when you started. It just requires a system, one that sees you where you are today, not where you were 10 years ago, and not where you imagine you should be. Dorothy with her basket, Carol on her kitchen stool, Ruth laughing in her armchair with her extendable duster, Vivian, 4 minutes on the edge of her bed, feeling like herself again. None of them did it perfectly. All of them did it honestly. That is what I want for you. If you found even one of these seated hacks useful today, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, which room is the hardest for you to manage on a low energy day? Let's keep sharing what works. Let's keep making life a little easier for ourselves and for each other. Together.